I'm going to say this to you right here over these airwaves, and you and I never had a conversation about this. I'm letting you know how I feel about this for the first time. I've never liked, I don't dislike him because I don't know him, but I never really liked Minnesota Timberwolves owner Glen Taylor because I felt like you were somebody that should have been in the ownership conversation. I thought that what you did for that franchise, what you meant to that franchise, he was a person that should have came to you and said, what can I do to keep you as a part of this organization forever? Because you were that synonymous with that franchise. And many times you could have demanded to be traded, you could have wanted out, and you never did that. And I always appreciated you for that. And the reason why I bring that up is because what you just brought up. You talked about what's the change, why Denver did what it's doing, why Denver did what it did, why Boston did what it did yesterday. I'm going to tell you why they're doing this. I believe you got this age of analytics. And you got all of these geek freaks, right? They know numbers. I'm not knocking them. I understand there's a place for it. Even Pat Riley was exercising analytics in the 90s. People don't realize that. Here's the thing, KG. The owners understand numbers more than they understand basketball. And if you got a cat that's coming to them with numbers and the owner can dissect that, it makes the owner feel like he's more knowledgeable about the basketball product because they're telling them, you don't really need to know basketball, you need to know these numbers. And as a result, that's who they hire because that's who they're comfortable with. And people like you and others who deserve consideration, who deserve to be a part of building a basketball culture, get thrown by the wayside. That is what has happened to the game of basketball. It's affected basketball culture. It's affected diversity in the league as far as I'm concerned, in the higher ranks. I'm disgusted by what I'm seeing, but I know where it emanates from, and it ain't going to get better. It's only going to get worse because there's more money coming in, which means it's more numbers, and you literally got cats that are losing games and will walk up to an owner and go like this, we actually won. Look at the numbers. Look at the analytics. See, it shows that we actually won. This is what they're saying to some of these owners. And they're getting away with it because checks are being cashed. That's my answer to your question, bro. What do you think about it?
Man, I'll be honest, man, the perception of the owner and how he sees a player. Mark Cuban, he sees Dirk. I see Dirk at games. I see Dirk, involved in, everyday operations, so I see that some owners see some players as partners, not as hired talent.
Right.
So with Glen Taylor's case, I've never messed that up. I've never not understood where he's come from. I know he's an ex-politician, and that speaks for itself, right? And he plays those games.
Right.
And he's on boards, and he knows how to leverage himself, and he's a very smart man. He's been around a very long time. So with that said, I knew exactly what I was dealing with. Because one person shows you his character doesn't necessarily mean that you need to revert and be what he is.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Rest in peace to my dog, Flip Saunders. He's not here with us anymore, but he had a vision, and that vision was the reason I came back to Minnesota. So, listen, good comes to good, and I'm a very patient person.
There you go.
And I like to think that when you're in business with people, you want to be in bed and be in bed with people that actually see the same vision as you. With Mark and A-Rod, they have a very similar vision. A-Rod plays, so that helps. Mm-hmm. So you don't have all this numbers and all this mechanical, mechanisms that come into analytics. Analytics have messed up the game. In parts, have helped it, but when you're talking about heartbeat, when you talk about grit, when you talk about patience, when you talk about presence, Anthony Edwards, you can't measure him on presence. You can't. It's not a machine that can measure presence. You understand? So, I think that analytics plays a part in this, but not in the parts where you're talking about flow and you talk about momentum, chemistry, camaraderie, leaders. You know what I'm saying? Presence, because you got to have that. And if you don't have no young boy with the presence and a closer like a John Moran or Anthony Edwards or Jalen Green, if you don't have one of these young boys or Shea Gilchrist, you're not built for the future.
And I tell you this, listen, I remember I was telling Philadelphia 76ers for years, because you know how connected I am to the city of Philadelphia, because I covered the 76ers for so many years. I said one of the biggest mistakes y'all make, don't tell me that AI, Allen Iverson, can't spot a dog when he see one. Don't tell me that brother ain't gonna see somebody and go like this. That brother got heart, he ain't gonna quit on you, he gonna be ready, bam. Don't tell me he can't point that out, that he can't make a contribution to basketball operations. Don't tell me that KG can't sit up and look at a cat and go like this, I don't don't know if he meant for this culture, this city, what it demands, what it requires. I don't know if he's made of that ilk.